Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of LiveWire Film Reviews via YouTube. This is Peter, man. What's up? And today I'm going to be reviewing Solo. The film is the origin story of the smuggler Han Solo and the origins that came to be. We have the origins of how he met Chewbacca. We also have an origin story of a childhood friend. We also have his smuggling days, his heists, and basically how we know Han Solo in the Star Wars saga. The pros of this film, so I could start off with its production woes. I can start off with, the poor reception, what the fanboys are saying. I could say this and that, but I'm just gonna go ahead and be simple. I'm gonna tell you what I liked about this film off the bat. Everybody came to play. Everybody's charismatic. Everybody played their role to a T. Hell, even Alden Ehrenreich, who I've noticed ever since I saw him in Hail Caesar, that this guy was a star. So I had no problems. Even when people were naysayers, even when I heard things like he needs an acting coach on set, you know what? These are rumors, so I'm gonna see how the film goes and see how it plays out. And you know what? Surprisingly enough, I felt like he did well. I think that this film is good. I think that everybody came to play. Emilia Clarke as a new character, Kira, his childhood friend, which he's separated from and is brought back years later during a heist. I thought that was a nice side story of how he is the scavenger that we know. New character, Beckett, Woody Harrelson, also played his role to a T. It's almost like the Woody Harrelson that you've seen time and time again. Just that charismatic prick you love to hate. Other, side characters like Thandie Newton as his love of his life, as well as his right-hand woman. I think everybody did well. I think we also want to highlight Donald Glover as Lando Calrissian. Man, that was a smooth motherfucker. I loved how he played his role. I thought he was smart, debonair, sly, cool. I thought out of everyone, he was the one that you wanted to pay attention to. He was the one that was having the most fun with his character. And I thought him and Alden Ehrenreich playing Han Solo and Lando Calrissian is exactly what you wanted to see. It's almost like what you thought the origin story of how these two, came to be brothers in arms. And it's funny to hear their banter back and forth of how they're getting to know each other. Everything that I've just said thus far is why I think that this film is very entertaining. Of course, we're going to have to just go ahead and go into its cons of its production woes. This film started with Phil Lord and Christopher Miller at the helm of this film. I think that they were making it too funny, and that's why they got kicked off. Even though they have executive producer credit, I think they were ultimately fired by head Kathleen Kennedy is the one that gave them the boot. But still, you have that kind of humor still intact in this Ron Howard version. So I don't see why they couldn't just stay on. I think that you probably would have had a better film, probably more relaxed, more natural flowing film with them at the helm. But Ron Howard, I feel like if people are saying, oh, Ron Howard's to blame, he was brought in last minute, he's the reason why Solo is what it is. Again, I don't have any problem. I'm not a part of that group that think this is just garbage. I really think that this is very entertaining. But this is the cons. I think that this is just too by the numbers. I think this checks off all the check marks. All the check marks of, let's get the origin story of how Han Solo met Chewbacca. We get that, great. Also, we want to see how the Kessel runs played out. Not as exciting as the fanboys probably thought in their head. I'm sorry, it's really not. I think a lot of fanboys or fans of Star Wars or just the casual, moviegoers that go to see this film probably thought that the Kessel Run was probably some kind of space age race, but it's definitely not that. But again, it furthers the plot. Kessel Run's not as exciting. Sorry, folks, but still, I think that this film has its good intentions. But everything's just so by the numbers. Everything's just, when you think of Star Wars, especially in its newfound form, I think, especially after the prequels, you just got this reinvigorating with The Force Awakens. Say what you will about Rogue One, I definitely wasn't someone that was saying that it's garbage. I'm not one of these fanboys that is just invested in the Star Wars saga. I don't treat this as a religion. I'm sorry. I do like these films. I thought Rogue One was perfectly fine. Now, Last Jedi, kind of divisive, especially if you've seen it for a second time. Whether you like that film or not, that film has its pros as well as definitely its cons. It's flawed. None of these films are perfection. As good as Force Awakens is, still not a perfect film. So Solo, going into this, I wasn't really invested in like, this has to be the Han Solo story that we need. This is the one that is the perfection. I wasn't like that. I came in like, you know what? I bet you it's going to be entertaining. And guess what? It was entertaining. But again, there is cons. Definitely with its villain. I feel like Paul Bettany just got off from playing Jarvis and Vision and was like, hey, so I need to be a bad guy? I get one set piece. I get one room that I stay in the entire film. I could do that. Again, he pops in here, it does his work and then leaves. But definitely a weak villain. Very weak. You know what? By the end of it, I almost forgot that he was the villain. I was like, oh yeah, you're in it again. It's very weak in that aspect. Solo's not perfection. I didn't think it was going to be. Again, it's too by the numbers, but hey, I had fun. Alden Ehrenreich, Donald Glover playing young Han Solo, and Lando Calrissian was fine by me, guys. If that's why you're going to go see this movie, you're going to love this film. Trust me, it's going to be entertaining. That's all I got to say, that it was fun. Stop taking the fun out of these films. It doesn't always have to be that serious. I think people hold on to that John Williams score, 70s George Lucas films, you hold in high regards. But then came the prequels. Anytime that the prequels start seeping in, you definitely got a little bit in The Last Jedi with that casino scene. And you get, at the very end, a cameo that could have just been a last minute thing. That's also probably a con here. You see someone from the prequels as a cameo. I'm not going to ruin it. I bet you already know what it is by now. But still, that was probably another con too. It really doesn't add up story-wise. Maybe people can argue that, hey, it's also taken from the animated series, the Disney XD. Okay, I don't know. You still do the math. Doesn't really add up. But anyways, I thought that Solo was fine. It was adequately well. That's what I'm going to say. Adequately well. It's got a nice ring to it. This is Peter Man. What's up? I'm going to give Solo 3 stars. It's a solid, fun 3 stars. Hey, if you think this is entertaining, it probably is. Be sure, if you like this video, to go press that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, you a fool. Go ahead, press the subscribe button, and be sure to keep continuing watching LiveWire film reviews. And also visit our in-depth exclusive podcast at soundcloud.com. You have yourself a wonderful day.